the tournament that I felt I had my best performance, and I could show people what my jiu-jitsu it's all about, was the Pan Ams 2012, when I won the tournament, submitting all the fights, and I was fighting against tough guys, Cobrinha was in my division, and that tournament I really felt I was flowing, and I was not thinking too much, just going there and showing what I know, how my jiu-jitsu is aggressive and always trying to get the submission. I really believe in drilling over and over, the same technique, because when you fight, you can't think too much. You have no time to stop there and think about what you have to do, if you should do or not. You have to just move, and it needs to be automatic. And I think the only way to achieve this this level of not thinking too much, just moving, just flowing, is drilling. I don't get hurt a lot. A lot of people ask me, how do you hurt your knees? Because you like this scramble game, and foot locks, you don't tap foot locks. Have you ever got any really bad injury? And no, I started training when I was really young, so maybe that's why my body is used to be training like this, training a lot every day, many times a day, and I'm always doing my strength and conditioning and just trying to be smart. Bruce Lee. Yeah.
Why?
Oh man, I was that's nice. I was watching his interviews on YouTube, and the things that he talks about, I think is very interesting. The way that he talks about flowing, and just you can't think too much. You need to flow. You need to feel. And I think this is really important. I think about this when I'm training jiu-jitsu. That if you think too much, you're hesitating. You're not going for the positions, for the techniques. So he talks about this, that you have to be in that state of mind where you're flowing, and you're just your body is reacting. So I think he's really smart, and his philosophy is good. I like his style. He's a small guy, and yeah, I would love to roll with him. It would be incredible. Yeah, I think so, man. I think using my jiu-jitsu, I would be able to win for sure. Yeah.
Would you have done it in a gi or no gi?
I think in the gi.
Why?
I don't know. It would be cool just to show the jiu-jitsu, promote our sport, the art that I love, and yeah, I think I would be able to win.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Mostly just giving me a purpose. I feel like a lot of people don't have the luxury of really knowing what they want to do in their lives, and they just kind of float along, following what society expects of them, just going to school and getting a job, and then just getting on the daily grind of work and trying to enjoy the weekends and partying. And I'm really lucky to have found jiu-jitsu at a young age. It's really given me a direction to go. No. I actually started jiu-jitsu because I wanted to get into MMA. That's why I went to BJ Penn's and stuff, and I was training MMA a lot. And I got a couple concussions, and it was I was over it. And I went to Maryland, and I started training some MMA there. And after another 2 concussions, I was I don't really want to do this anymore. I feel like the more you think about that kind of stuff, the worse it is for you. It's better to just not think about anything. There's a Japanese philosophy called Mushin. It's the Mushin mind, which means no mind. And I feel like the more you think, especially in competition and before, you can kind of psych yourself out, and it's better just to go completely off instinct. Like, we train so much in the gym, why would you like change your mindset once a tournament gets closer, you know? So I try and just compete how I would just as a day of training, you know.
Yeah.
With a more intensity, of course. I try and fight harder with more aggression, but I don't really do anything special mentally other than just try and clear my head and really not worry about it.
Roger Gracie, you know, like I fought with him 2008, and he's the biggest name in jiu-jitsu all time. You know, he won like 10 world titles only in black belt, so he's sick. The MMA training gives them a lot of advantage, you know, because the MMA training just make you tough, you know, make you strong, way stronger than the other fighters. Because like the boxing, they stand up when you hit bags, you know, all this type of thing, you know, and of course like the grappling, they pretty much train only no gi during all time, you know, but it's kind of like make them tough, but if you see the champions, they all from gi. You know, like fight gi as well, you know, like jiu-jitsu, grappling with the gi. You know, you see like different type of fighters, you know, and they have their own quality, you know. Some fighters, they're more explosive. Some ones, they like less explosive, more resistant. Depends, you know, you gotta find that, you know. One example, like Roger Gracie, he goes constantly and he makes his career like very successful, like in the resistance, you know. He always persists. He never stopped like until the end of the fight. You see like a lot of fights he start losing and just he keep the pace. By the end, like boom, he beat the guy right there, you know. And like the other example is like Marcus Buchecha right now. He's the same size of Roger Gracie, and he kind of like the new Roger Gracie right now, you know. He's like 2 times world champion, absolute, and his game is different. His game is more explosive. He just started like in one speed, and then like from nowhere, he just changed the speed, and then changed the whole game. So I believe you gotta find that, you know, your quality. Ah man, come on, if you're training like if I tap one of my heroes, man, it would be like amazing, you know. Oh my god, of course, like nobody knew jiu-jitsu back in the day. I believe like I could do great too, you know, like just take everybody down and submit them, you know. And I used to fight against like Mark Kerr. Actually, I had like Mark Kerr and Mark Coleman. Remember Mike Coleman?
Yeah.
Mark Coleman, all those guys like Frank Sharrock, you know, and Ken Sharrock was like really cool and to watch. And I believe like back in the day I was like white belt, and I had the dreams like fighting against those guys, you know, like fighting against Royce Gracie, you know, back in the day. I wake up like, oh man, I was dreaming. So it was really cool, you know. And of course, like back in the day, I believe like for us, for jiu-jitsu fighters, and especially like the Gracies and the Royce Gracie, he proved like the jiu-jitsu is the most effective fight for like a one-on-one challenge, you know. One-on-one challenge, for sure, like jiu-jitsu is very effective. And I believe like if I can come back, if I could come back, man, I believe like I could be like How of the Fam, maybe.
Would you wear a gi?
Of course, if they're a boxer, they use like one glove, one hand boxing glove, the other hand like nothing. Remember that?
Yeah.
So of course, like I'll have my gi on.
Dato Moriyami is a Japanese street photographer I dig for his aesthetic, that like surreal, anti-crystal clear digital look. And it's one of the reasons that I shoot with antique manual lenses. My favorite shot is probably this one right here of BJ and Ronda rolling. We brought her down to help film an upcoming BJ Penn documentary. And after we closed off the gym and the camera started rolling, it was just amazing to see how different and how good her game is in a gi.